If you look southwest out the window of the museum, you will see a grove of old olive trees. Blowers planted 15 acres of mission olives in the 1880s, and the trees you see are about 140 years old and still bearing. In the 1880s, Blowers saw the volume of California raisins increase dramatically and the prices fall. Although he still received a premium for his raisins, he recognized that the raisin business would become increasingly competitive. During the 1880s, he reduced his raisin and table grape acreage and replaced the grapes with olives and plums. In 1883, Blowers had purchased 40 acres in what was then termed Willow Oak Park, west of Woodland, with ample water from Cache Creek. According to the Daily Democrat in 1893, Blowers had 15 acres of olives and about 60 acres of plums between his home property and the 40 acres at Willow Oak. Prunes and olives were logical extensions of Blowers' experience and expertise in fruit growing, processing, and marketing. Blowers did not sell most of his plums fresh as green fruit, but instead dried them and sold them as prunes, a new crop for California. Blowers had over a decade of experience in drying raisins and had invested in a large dehydrator, so the switch from raisin to prune production fit with the skills and infrastructure. Blowers claimed to have dehydrated the first prunes in California. While we don't know if his claim was true, certainly in the 1890s, the competition from other prune producers was much less than the competition from the increasing raisin production near Fresno. Olive production and processing was significantly more complex than prune production and demanded that Blowers and his family learn new skills and invest in processing equipment. Olives contain a bitter component, oleorupin, which must be extracted from the fruit if it is to be eaten as a preserve. The process involves sorting the fruit by size and degree of ripeness, and then treating the fruit with a lye-water mixture, monitoring for lye penetration, and then leaching the bitter component and lye from the olives through daily water changes over 7 to 10 days. The cured olives must then be maintained in a brine solution before packing and sale. During all this processing, the fruit must be handled gently to prevent bruising, which was made more difficult by Blowers' decision to use only fully ripe black olives. The product was probably something similar to a Kalamata olive today. Olive oil production was another alternative. It had been fully described in 1882 by Blowers' friend, Elwood Cooper, the head of the State Horticultural Commission. But oil production was also complex, requiring rigorous sanitation to prevent oil oxidation and requiring expensive machinery if oil was going to be produced on any scale. Ultimately, Blowers never went into large-scale production of either cured olives or olive oil. This was probably due to the Depression of 1893 and Blowers' death in early 1894 at 64 years of age. In 1892, he had borrowed $13,000, equivalent to perhaps a $400,000 loan today, from the Bank of Yolo. His probate records in early 1894 showed new olive processing equipment and new olive processing vats, so it seems likely that Blowers intended to increase his production of both black ripe processed olives and of olive oil. The Depression of 1893 lasted for 4 years, severely reducing economic activity and the market for luxury products. Blowers' children, Russell, Annie, and Carrie, continued the farming operation, focused mostly on green fruit sales, and only produced small amounts of cured olives and oil for local sales, never venturing into the broader marketplace. Had Blowers not died in 1894, he might have made the transition to commercial olive processing. Instead, in 1901, the family decided not to process their olives, but rather to sell them to the Amen Olive Company in Oroville, a relationship they continued for the next 20 years. Blowers was clearly a thoughtful entrepreneur who combined strong horticultural skills with value-added processing, strong attention to quality production, and upscale marketing. He was willing to take chances and to try new products and markets, always wanting to be ahead of the curve and leading the way. Other Yolo County farmers got richer than Blowers by selling wheat, but it was Blowers that put Woodland on the map as an important horticultural center in Northern California. The next time you visit the Yolo County Fairgrounds and you're in the Midway eating a corn dog, stop and look up at the olive trees and think of R.B. Blowers.